Welcome to So Mom.
So, Mom.
This is our podcast.
Yes, it is.
We get to say what we want to say.
For a few minutes, we do.
And usually those things are pretty current and I don't know.
Well, and sometimes you surprise me with questions, which is
Well, I'm surprising you with the question. So usually on So Mom, we like to talk about a little bit of the week wrap up, but we have this guest today who has made us a little bit thrilled
yeah.
and got us reflecting on our own untalented singing careers that were nipped at the bud
Yeah.
in different ways. But maybe we can start with tell me when you realized how untalented you were at singing.
It's actually easy. I used to sing to show tunes in my parents' living room in front of the mirror. And so I would sing away thinking I sounded, you couldn't.
Which show tune?
All show tunes. My parents went to see every show. And so Most Happy Fella,
Guys and Dolls?
Guys and Dolls, you name it back then. I'm still singing them in my head. And I would stand there and perform in front of the mirror. And my brothers would stand on the stairs and go, oh, and make horrible noises. And I thought, maybe I don't sound as good as I think. And then I knew, and then every time I had to audition for something that had singing, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, there's two realities of a person, I think, when it comes to your voice.
Yeah.
There's in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the mirror.
Medicine cabinet mirror.
Yeah.
Shower.
Yeah.
Just alone time out of time.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And maybe you're singing Bohemian Rhapsody or Guys and Dolls. You're seeing something, you're like, I'm good.
I could sing right now.
Like I could
sing
do this.
I'm the Most Happy Fella.
Yeah. and then there's real life.
Yeah.
And that is how big a moment that happens is maybe correlated with how much of a narcissist you are. I remember thinking I was good all the way up to the regional auditions for Annie. And I went on the stage and I really thought, I'm getting a part. If not one of the main orphans, Annie. And they were like, all right, introed in. And it was just, the sun will come out. Nothing to do with what was in nothing to do with that. And then it was get the hook. And it was 7 seconds.
Yes.
So it's good that you had the brothers because
the brothers
I must have had some mom who was like, go, you're so good. What mother did I have that would have done that?
But I think I'm pretty realistic about you.
Why was I there?
Because you wanted to be. And I was never going to be the mother who said, don't audition. Why not audition?
Yeah.
And the truth is, you actually don't
tell me
you don't have a bad voice. You can stay.
No,
on
I have a very regular voice.
You have a regular voice, but you stay on key. I can't even stay on key.
Yeah. Well,
okay. So luckily today we have a guest who is a legitimate, fabulous singer.
Yes.
How embarrassing for us.
We'll get some tips after the show.
No, we won't. There's no hope for me.
All right.
She's also a cook, though, and we could get tips.
We can pretend that we're good cooks more easily.
I can fake it in the kitchen. I'll fake it.
Those little muffins you made last week were good. I didn't eat many of them because I had purchased much more sugary things from my local bakery.
Yes, I'm sorry to have brought those. I didn't know you were going to.
Those were very much also rans.
I know.
But only because I love monkey bread and blueberry muffins and lemon poppy seed muffins and cinnamon rolls and croissants, strawberry, almond, and all the things that I
do you realize what a long list that was?
And so when I saw your little molasses bites,
pumpkin spice, pumpkin ginger,
I thought,
I know.
I don't know.
But they're so little that you just eat one. I had to figure out, how little.
I mean, Hayes is eating them all.
Oh,
He
good.
comes home and has like
6
6.
of them, yeah.
And nothing to waste.
That's the best part of having grandsons.
I know,
They
he
eat
doesn't
they
even
eat
care.
it all and think it's
It's just
delicious.
like
It
this
doesn't
giant
matter.
pouch, and then he just
I know.
stuffs everything. We are so excited to welcome this next guest to So Mom, and I'm going to read her wonderful bio right now before we get into it. Hannah Dasher. Hannah Dasher grew up in Savannah, Georgia, surrounded by classic country music and inspired early on by artists like Alan Jackson. She picked up her first guitar at 14 and later moved to Nashville after college to pursue songwriting full time. Early on, she worked odd jobs, including getting fired from Bass Pro Shops for writing songs at work before landing a publishing deal and as an in-demand songwriter, co-writing songs for artists like Brad Paisley. Known for her bold personality, sharp storytelling, and throwback country sound, Hannah released songs like Girls Call the Shots and Leave This Bar, earning recognition from CMT's Next Women of Country. She's also written several songs recorded by Lainey Wilson. During the pandemic, Hannah built a huge following online with her music content, her fabulous personality, which we can attest to, and her Southern cooking series, Stand By Your Pan, where fans fell in love with both her humor and her biscuits. The resulting cookbook, also called Stand By Your Pan, is chock full of compiled recipes, tips, and family stories, and it's out now. Welcome to the show, Hannah. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you sweet thing.
I loved reading that. And what I really loved about it is that meeting you at the LA Books Festival, I said to my mom, and you don't know this, I said, it would be so wonderful to just like my eyes meet across a crowded room and see our next podcast guest, someone really cool and exciting. And I honestly felt like it was fate. I was like, you were surrounded by handlers and fans and people, and I felt a little bit like I was looking at you, and then there you were, and I was just like, oh, this woman is just great. And I knew you were an entertainer. I heard some buzzing in my ear of who you were, but it was just one of these absolutely wonderful things where now today I feel like the dream has come full circle. Here you are.
Thank you. I feel like I'm about to receive an Oscar or something. You made that so well. Thank you, darling. That was a lot of fun, that little film party. And tickled to get to know you too. And Miss Priscilla. Do they ever call you Prissy?
No, nobody called me Prissy except sometimes my grandmother, who is from Alabama
And also named Priscilla.
and also named Priscilla.
I love that.
And we called her Till or Tilla, her grandchildren did. And she was just absolutely my favorite person. She was the person who stood between me and my mother, and she just protected me all the time. And I absolutely adored her. But she would sometimes, with her Alabama accent, call me all kinds of things. She called me Scylla, she called me Prissy, but it was all just love of our shared name.
We went down a big rabbit hole of your grandmother, my grandma is a hooch content. You have such wonderful social media content. We were wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, maybe we all have a woman in our life that is that the character that they write movies about, like Steel Magnolias and
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind. You can't put her on speakerphone. Mixed company. That woman, my Nana, she has inspired me in so many ways, mainly my humor. But she said she got married 5 times because she didn't like to sleep around. Anyhow, but a good friend of mine in the comedy world, John Christ, has encouraged me to do stand up for a long time, and I don't have the backbone to do it. Actually, I don't have the time, but I did write a bit about my grandmother, and so last year I decided to try it out online, and I'm basically just telling the truth with a little charm thrown in. Anyhow, and every video has taken off, and they want more of the Hoochie Nana and her love for Jason Mimosa and all the things. And but yes, it's a good comic relief to the rat race that is the country music industry, and a great way to combine, uh, you know, my content, which is my recipes and all things that are just Hannah.
There's so many different parts to the sort of the Hannah Dasher identity. There's the music and the humor and the recipes, and it's so great in a way that you were living in this age where this entire personality that you are, where all these parts make sense, and then obviously all feed into your songs and your songwriting. Really come from origin stories that we can all look at and like become part of. That's what was so fun about falling down the rabbit hole of all of the things that you're doing right now.
Well, that is sweet of you to say. I thank you, thank you. And I will say that my grandmother, we just buried her a few weeks ago, and I've started the series to really cope with her dementia, and I wanted to preserve her youth. And I thought, you know what, someone's got to write this stuff down. My same reasoning for putting a lot of the recipes and the tips that I did in Stand By Your Pan, the cookbook, because I want to preserve a lot of the great stuff that I don't obviously want to see die, like the pedal steel guitar, polyester, big collared shirts, and things. I mean, you can look at my house and tell I'm stuck in time, at a time that I wasn't even born. But anyhow, I think there's some great things that kind of feel like a warm hug when you see them or when you brush across them, and I want to keep that kind of stuff around.
I loved it too because my grandmother died when I was 18. And I, it was such a hole in my heart. I still grieve for her. But what you did was you brought her back to me. They aren't the same grandmother, but my grandmother was so big in my life. And when I bought your cookbook, I remembered how much I love reading cookbooks in bed. And so I've been reading all of your recipes in bed, thinking of the ones I'm going to make. They felt so warm. And I said to Adele, and I don't think she ever heard it, I said, now my grandmother was not a great cook, but she loved Southern food and she grew a lot. So, we ate, she'd always say, if you're like me and you're my Priscilla, you'll love yams. And I think, I hate yams. And I didn't like okra, but my grandmother made grits the way nobody made grits, which was with practically a stick of butter for each of us, homemade sausage and salt and pepper. And I still think of her. And when I read your recipes, I thought, oh my gosh, it just reminded me so much of the things I love, that wholesome food, that wonderful, right out of the garden. And
Oh,
I think, in all the food trends, we've somehow missed that wonderful kind of what everybody has in their kitchens, the flour, the sugar, the eggs, all of those
the
foods.
stock pantry.
Yeah. And, it's why I stopped really ordering out and going to DoorDash, except once in a while, because it's so easy to go back and do something simple and delicious.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And if I was reading cookbooks in bed, I wouldn't be as tiny as you. Good heavens, I'd I'd run to the kitchen and want to make something. My goodness, especially this one, touring the world as a musician, and a foodie. I've learned that soul food's not created equal, and where I come from, what we do specifically in the Low Country, as it's called, the Savannah area, is very rare, and it's just seasoned extremely well. And I grew up with a lot of old people, and so I learned a lot of their secrets that a few of these ladies took with them to their grave, like to making great pound cakes or just to making your food taste a little better than everybody else's. So there's very much there's an art to soul food and to Southern cuisine, and a lot of your food snobs and food critics that don't know soul food or that didn't grow up in the Deep South will take it for granted. Anyhow, but there are some really, really great recipes in this book. What, in my opinion, I would consider, the best versions of some of these classics that you're going to get. Like, to me, the best black-eyed peas with ham hocks that you'll eat, the best grits that you will eat. I put a little more than butter in mine, and they're great.
Yeah.
But they'll put a lot of weight on you won't have a thigh gap if you cook them. Don't eat them often, but but things like that. And yeah, but yeah, and also hospitality tips. And
I love that.
I know we have I just
We
realized the book's in the kitchen.
oh
We have Post-its all over it. We're going to make one of the recipes
yeah.
to put in advance of, and there's so many. I was thinking the caramel cake because I would eat that in a minute.
Oh, and
Just so delicious.
oh, it's so hard to master. You can use my yellow cake recipe, but I did not put a caramel icing in the book, but I do have a really, really good chocolate, like a homemade cooked chocolate icing. And
That sounds
but
delicious.
caramel cake is my favorite of all cakes. And you're right, very few people can make it the way I remember it.
Another thing that was really cool in the cookbook and just completely popped so many memories for me. My father was in the military and we were stationed in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I don't know if it's Corningware, but you had all the dishes. And I was like,
girl, the
oh my gosh, the
pirate.
70s just exploded. I was like, all the Army families used all of those and they would bring, it was very much like, for Hail and Farewell, you would bring over all the recipes. And in North Carolina, especially, there was like a lot of that Southern cooking because it was also considered just such a space of community and welcome.
Absolutely. Well, the covered dish, church dinner. Yeah, dinner is lunch where I'm from. Dinner is lunch. But all that, like I said earlier, feels like a big warm hug. And where I grew up, you could trust the food that you were eating, that it was coming from a clean house too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
but the beauty of, like you said, Miss Priscilla, keeping a stocked pantry, we talk about that, and stand by your pan. As a musician, I've had to stretch $1, and so now I can go to the grocery store and buy whatever I want. Thank you, Jesus. But I'm still really frugal, just because, why not be? Save money wherever you can. Anyhow, and you can feed an army on 20 to 40 bucks. I teach you how to do that in this book. As long as you're keeping a stock pantry, you can make excellent food. Or as someone at the drop of a hat, oh crap, my neighbor had surgery today. Let me pull this chicken pie out of the freezer and bake it really quickly while I, go freshen my face, etc. You've got things in your freezer that are homemade to take to other people, and to be a good neighbor, and they'll think you really did something.
That's the thing I remember and loved so much about the Army people, because so much is written, and unless you live on a base, you don't understand, because family has to be everything. You don't know what's going to happen or how long you'll be there. So you make friends and community very quickly, and you do that through food. And so I can remember when Adele's dad would be deployed, our house became sort of party central. And everybody would bring their babies and they would just sleep where they fell. We'd drink Boone's Farm wine and
fondue.
And everybody would bring food. And one thing about women, when we get together, we didn't even know each other that well, but we all, had babies around and food, and we would sit and drink wine.
Or you go to that house where they had the piano.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like singing, and music fits so naturally in with the idea of welcoming and community.
That's true. I only had my old records that we would play. I did not actually entertain anyone.
What were your records? What did you like? What did you listen to back then?
This is sort of a walk through embarrassingly. I listened to Buddha and the Chocolate Factory. Chocolate Box, Buddha and the Chocolate Box. Cat Stevens. James Taylor, the Beatles, the Kinks were big. Her dad played in a rock band, so I played a lot. That was sort of the music of my life. So that was the soundtrack of everything I did.
My dad loved the Beach Boys and Jethro Tull and Johnny Cash.
So that, and
a lot of music and
but we always had music going, but I didn't sing for it.
Well, honey, as pretty as you are, you didn't have to.
Is your family musical?
Yes, I say that loosely. My father has an excellent voice and taught me to sing harmony. Now, he doesn't sing like in public, but he would sing in the choir. Growing up, no solos, but he has a beautiful voice. My twin sister, I'm a twin, uh, can harmonize by ear. She only sings when she's inebriated, but she does a really, really good impersonation. Best Cher impression I've ever seen, and a really good Naomi Judd, R.I.P. So, and we talk about Naomi in the book, as a matter of fact. So, 'cause I love the Judds, but and my Nonna endorsed the book as well too. So, but yes, lots of music is so much a part of my life as well too. And growing up, parents always played music in the background on a Saturday. After the work was done, there's always a good. I mean, and their music was like Marshall Tucker Band or Little River Band or the Eagles and things like that, and or Kansas even. And
Oh yeah, we did
Kansas.
the Eagles.
In
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Mom and I had been talking earlier about like when we had a moment, our private moment of realizing, wow, we're really not good singers. And so sort of conversely, did you ever have a moment where you were young when you got the guitar or sometime, in your life where you thought, you know what, I could take this all the way. I actually am really talented. Or was it something that was just always, did they bring you out to sing when you were little, or was this sort of some kind of seminal moment where you were like, this is all going to be me pushing forward in this career?
that's a great question. I could sing before I could talk. I wasn't like mute autistic or anything, but and maybe a touch. But all that to say, I just music was in me, and when you grow up listening to uh, 90s country radio and the Motown music, beach music, like Aretha and things like that as well, and Martha and the Vandellas, things like that. I mean, how can you not help but fall in love with it? And I could stay up late one night a year, and that was to watch the Country Music Awards because I wanted to watch Freddie McIntyre and things like that, and Vince Gill and people like that, and Alan Jackson, of course. And so, yeah, when I got into boys, I got into their music, which was more rock and roll. So I'm a really, really big AC/DC and Leonard Skinner fan, and um, uh, Free, Bad Company. Those are some of my favorite bands. And anyhow, but so combine all that and a little Elvis and a little black gospel, and then you've got what it is that I do anyhow. But I've always known that music was my calling to be an entertainer. So and again, Loretta or like Reba that I mentioned earlier, Reba's not just a singer. Reba is an actress as well, arguably, right? And a comedian. Dolly Parton, an actress, songwriter, singer, guitar player. I wear those hats too, if you will. I wouldn't say an actress, but well, maybe I could pull that off if I wanted to. But I love
I
the
could see that.
Yeah.
but I'm just a representative of the genre, like one of those guys. Those are big shoes to fill, but they're multi-talented, and I think it's okay to be multi-talented without confusing the audience. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, she can do it all.
One of the things that when Mom and I, we were playing your music and we were sort of looking at the videos, and I thought it always looks like she's having so much fun. But then, I could feel in the song "The Tree" that
It's all about the branches now. Everybody been branching now. Pull it up, what's in the ground deep down.
there's like a real feeling of the origin story of country music, and like your feelings about it are very, quite serious and profound. And yet when I watch a video like Waffle House,
You show up at 3 a.m. Ain't surprised you're drunk again. Trying to kiss and saying shit you don't mean.
this I was like, gosh, it's interesting because I think you're holding both things really easily, like all the fun and all the spirit of doing something that just felt like, oh my God, what's more fun than wearing an old waitress outfit and doing a Waffle House video? But then
Yeah.
it was so good.
It was so good.
Thank you. Well, I try to be as versatile as possible as a songwriter, and you have to be, I think. But that the tree came from a very honest place. It was, gosh, we wrote that song about 9 years ago. And so it was before some of the country, the more traditional acts like Zach Top had come on the scene, and me. And anyway, but I wrote that with one of my heroes, Mr. Casey Bethard. He's so gifted. And yeah, just a song about, if you're gonna build upon it, be rooted in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the sort of the movement of so much crossover between rock and country, and more people, singing under more of a country label when they've been associated with a more mainstream or rock sound?
I think there's enough pie for all of us here, and I'm glad that there's variety out there. I'm not into I think pop is short for popular. And I'm a big Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake fan, and Gaga, for example, but pop country doesn't turn me on. But it does some people, and they dress differently than I do, and they, and listen to different music, and that's cool. It takes all kinds, if you will. But the cool kids tend to like the Sturgill Simpson and the Tyler Childers, and more of the outlaw scene, if you will. And there's some really great mainstream country music out there now too, as well. I think country has always evolved. Like Patsy Cline fought and fought. She didn't want to do the Nashville sound, which was pop at the time, which was the symphony or the strings that Owen Bradley brought in. Anyhow, and but she did, and that's what put her on the map. And pay for that house that's sitting about half a mile over here away from me. So again, I just think great art is undeniable, and doesn't really matter the package that you put it in at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think we really grew to appreciate. I didn't grow up with country. I definitely grew up with Motown and loved that. But as a genre, I grew to love real country when we were living in North Carolina, because everyone sang it, knew about it, played it. And
When you got married, the Lyle Lovett fan that you currently live with.
Oh, I married
24/7 Lyle Lovett.
He was 24/7 Lyle Lovett. And really, I don't know if I should say this, but when Lyle Lovett married Julia Roberts, he thought he had stepped down.
That is funny. That's funny. What a queen.
Yeah.
Knows.
Oh my God. He listened to it
all the time.
And he's somebody who loves country and blues. That's his thing. Yeah.
Do you enjoy touring? I saw that you had some tour dates this summer, and I mean, there's such a coziness.
I do. I was just in LA. I was just there this last week, honey. So I hate that I missed you if you weren't there. But touring is my main source of income, and I'm so grateful and blessed to have a touring career. And I credit TikTok for a lot of that too, or my social media, I guess, presence. Because it's united people across the board, people who used to be country fans that aren't anymore, or people that don't like country music at all that happen to like what I do. So when you go to a Hannah show, you'll see people from all walks of life, hippies, rednecks, gays, black people, white people. I mean, it's wonderful. I love it. And I think that's how music ought to be, just like good food.
Yeah.
We can all agree on the fried chicken. Wonderful, can't we? And the chocolate is wonderful, and that's just kind of my mantra. It's it's just to try to unite us all.
How often do you tour?
Since I'm doing the book tour as well this year, I'm only doing a couple of dates a month, but we're typically out, I don't know, probably 70 dates a year or so. But yeah, I have a dang ball. Love it. Love traveling, and it's expensive. Yeah, but I love my band. They're such good guys. I call them mini Pearl Jam.
I like that.
Book touring's got to be quite a different kettle of fish from music touring. Having only been in the book world, I can't I would love to know what both feel like stacked up against each other.
The LA Book Festival, I was tickled to go, but when I think festival, I think music festival, you know. So I'm you know, where's the cocaine? I don't do it, but you know, like where's the rock and roll? Where's the where are the parties? Kind of a thing. The book no, no, y'all can cut that out if you have to. I don't want to get you in trouble. Um, but uh but again, I've met some incredible people, including you, Kristen Harmel, best-selling author, just an absolute gem. She's the one that invited me to the party at Universal, with the Universal, where I met you, and the guy throwing the party, Jordan, happened to be a fan, and it's like, oh my God. So, yeah, so that was a really cool God thing. And the girl, oh my gosh, I had dinner with her. She's got the octopus book with Sally Fields.
Oh yes, Shelby. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm
Look, a
just
doll.
reading that now.
Beautiful
she?
books.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I have to do the audio.
It's
Yeah,
a sweet book. Yeah.
Great book.
It really is.
Yes, books were very excited to get you in the in the swirl, in the social swirl. It's like we looked up from our bookmarks and bifocals. There's a rock star.
I love it. Hey, I mean, you know what? I'm a book nerd when it comes to like music autobiographies and things like that. I mean, I'm the biggest nerd when it comes to rock and roll history and country music history. And so I think it's wonderful that you know, that there's things out there for all of us to kind of latch onto. And books are endless. I mean, you can write about anything.
Oh, for sure. I was reading your lyrics, you know, like
Yeah,
my way in was
beautiful.
just like, oh, just read lyrics. I mean, they're poems. They're so beautiful.
That is so kind of you to say. Well, I didn't like to read books as a child, but I would read lyrics. I would read my CD and cassette tape covers, inlays, front to back, and because that interested me, and and it also made me dream big.
One of the best rock books I have read, which was I saw it on TikTok by an author who I really admire. I admire her work, and it was such a shock to have her say this is one of the best books I've read. And there are two of them in the series, which are recent biographies of Elvis, and it ends right as he becomes famous. And so oh my gosh, it opens up a very different personality, who he was, how he saw his music, what his band was like. I couldn't put it down. It was absolutely incredible.
We'll link it at the show.
Yeah, Lincoln. Oh, I love that. Yes, the latest one that I read that made me cry 2 or 3 times. I'm a big Tom Petty fan, so another LA cat.
Yeah, yeah.
Campbell, I believe, got a Grammy or was nominated for a Grammy for his book that his audio book that he released. I mean, it's hard copy as well, but it's called Heartbreaker. And his story, his rags to riches story, is inspiring. Is not even the word, but it's insane. Yeah, and all those things. So that you get outside of the movie documentary, you get so much more out of this book. So anyway, if you're a rock and roll fan,
I love reading.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
I love reading rock and roll biographies, and
I do too.
we both do. We both have.
We
like,
do. We have this funny little love of that kind of book and the life.
But I remember being like 11 years old and reading Up and Down with the Rolling Stones, and I was 11, and it was by Spanish Tony, Keith Richards' drug dealer, and I was like, there is a whole world out there.
I love that. I love that.
Like, give me this world in the south of France, scoring heroin and writing, you know, what would become
Stones
Sticky
in
Fingers.
Exile.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Exile in Maine. Yes.
Exile of Maine. There you go. Exile of Maine.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, their writing process was wild. Didn't they? Just yes, a nerd, but I believe they sat around at his house in the south of France, one of their sessions, writing sessions, and they put a hat in the center, and they all took strips of paper and they wrote some random things on it
And just threw it in.
threw it in the hat. And so the first 2 pieces they pulled out were, was a line that said "I was born," and then the next slip said "a Crossfire Hurricane."
My God.
Oh my gosh.
I did not know that specific anecdote. That sounds exactly like that whole time. It just it captivated me, I think.
When Adele was a little girl, she was a reader and she read from the time she was young. But I remember her absolute fascination as a 10, 11-year-old with all of these rock musicians. And I thought,
musicians are fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
They live so big.
She couldn't get enough. And I think,
get enough.
am I a good mother letting her read this? Is this a bad sign?
That's a cool kid right there. That's a cool mom.
I thought I was a young mom, so I thought, oh, what the heck?
Well, y'all got so much history there too. Like I've never spent enough time like in Laurel Canyon or in I don't know. There's so much history there in L.A. And a buddy of mine here in Nashville, his grandfather is Roger. Oh my gosh, the Birds, Roger McGuinn. Anyhow, and Jim, his grandson, and I become buddies, and Jim is I could just sit for hours and literally listen to Jim tell me stories about touring with the Rolling Stones and certain famous boyfriends that his grandmother had, etc. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Anyway, but it is wild. It is wild to live vicariously through people like that.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Does Nashville feel like home?
It sure does. It does. I mean, it's growing so much. A lot of folks are moving, obviously, out of California and the north, and are coming down, and for our cheaper tax brackets and things. But it's the traffic's not quite as bad as LA, but it's getting there.
Yeah,
a lot of people we know moving to Nashville.
Yes, and I can't blame them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I just hope it doesn't lose its charm. It's getting expensive to live here, and so we're all kind of having to spread out just a little bit. But yeah, I love Nashville. It is as a touring musician, it's convenient because it's right here, smack dab in the middle of the country, and it's a lot easier just to fly people. And of course, when I fly, I don't buy one ticket. You know, I have a crew and a little crew and band also that flies with me. So it's a lot cheaper to travel out of Nashville for sure.
Yeah. What does the rest of the year look like for you? Are you going in the studio? Are you writing? Are you thinking about, I know that I saw all the tour dates, so you're kind of out and about a lot.
Yes. Thank you for asking that. Yes, and yes. I think what's up next is, obviously, we've got the CMA Fest stuff and Chinook Fest. I'll be on Good Morning America cooking something from the book or a couple things from the book. I'm excited to do Good Morning America. That'll be a lot of fun. Yes. And I am writing the music as we speak as well too. So I've been sitting on some songs for a few years and just been waiting for the right producer situation. And I've got two in mind. I think I just need to sell my liver and my right boob. It'll probably about $350,000 to cut with them, but I want to do it the right way this time. I don't want to waste any bullets, So, but yes, new music is underway, and a fun new show this year. So trickling in some of these new songs. So I'm excited for folks to get out and hear and encourage them to bring their cookbooks, to my shows. I'm hanging out after every performance that I can for like a meet and greet at merch so that I can sign cookbooks for people and or sign t-shirts or whatever. But that's probably my favorite part of the night is to meet people.
So when you're on Good Morning America, are you going to cook and are you going to sing?
I'm going to cook. Yes. I'm not bringing the band or anything. I'm not sure what we're cooking. It's going to be in July. It might be cooking it's a couple of dishes, but probably something to do with tomatoes. It could be tomato pie. It could be tomato gravy. It could be both. I don't know. I'm fixing to make martinis with Martina McBride. National Martini Day's coming up, so we're going to make some little Martini McBride. That'll be fun. Devin Gilfillian, he was just on Good Morning America as well. With Corey Wong, very talented. But he and I are going to be cooking up some things. And anyhow, I'd love to do a lot more work on camera. I'll say that. So just need a good agent.
Well, whenever you're on camera, we'll be watching. You are wonderful to watch. You have such flair and I can hardly wait for us to try in our own little way to your recipe. And then
You can untag yourself if you
Yeah.
feel like it didn't work out.
Yes, I want to see. I mean, it's gonna be fun. I think
We love it. We love
Yeah.
cooking together.
We
So
do.
that's the thing. There's lots of recipes. We have to I've put the Post-its on for mom's final decision because it's mom's kitchen. But we'll be having a lot of fun.
We will have fun.
It did remind us of my grandmother, my great grandmother, your grandmother and mother.
Yeah.
Long line of Southern cooks.
how many minutes apart do y'all live from one another? How far away?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You lucky things.
This is new for us. Adele and her family moved to California. I moved out here for a job and left the East Coast. And then Adele and her family moved right during I guess right at the end of COVID. They had had enough of New York. And I kept telling them how beautiful California was, and I kept sending them boxes of lemons for my lemon tree. And so they moved out, and they've been here for 5 years now?
Yeah, 5 years.
And so we have lived either down the street or 5 minutes away, which has been, I guess, maybe the happiest time of my life. I retired, and then we started this podcast together, and they live close by. So it's been wonderful.
Well, thank you for thinking of me and making time for me. I know you two are your rock stars in your own right. You know what I mean? And so just thank you for squeezing me into your schedules to make this happen and shed light on my little book and my little life.
It's a wonder. It's a great big wonderful book, and your great big wonderful life was something that we were so thrilled when you said yes to come on the pod. We were like,
Adele called me,
I
Hannah,
was really
so excited. She said, you are not going to believe, because we've just gotten nervier and we just want to do our podcast. And because people some people like you have said yes. And it's really, our podcast has grown, and we're excited about that. And then to have you just was exciting to both of us. And I have been like a little kid. Last night I said to my husband, do you know tomorrow Hannah's going to be on our podcast?
You're the sweetest thing. Well, I hope that you guys will call me when you come to town, or hell, come stay and I'll fix you breakfast. But I'll make sure that I do look you up when I'm in your area again. And please, if you ever want to come to a show, your friends.
We definitely will. And Sarah Milanowski is plotting to get her birthday party over in Nashville, because she's like, we have a friend there. So watch out. Change your locks. We're coming.
I love to change locks. I'm coming. I've got to use that. I love that.
Well, thank you again. This has been such a great hour. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the cookbook. Thank you for your wonderful presence. Everybody's going to go out and get this cookbook, and we're thrilled that we got to have this time.
Stand by your pan.
Stand by your pan.